Nearly two-thirds of motorcycle buyers say they'd choose a different bike if they had it to do over, usually because of repair bills nobody warned them about. One Honda here costs less than $60 a year to maintain. 9 models made the cut, and everyone was built to outlast its owner. Starting the list is the Honda Rebel 300, the small displacement cruiser that quietly became the bike most new riders never outgrow. Its single-cylinder engine keeps things mechanically simple, which means fewer components capable of failing and a maintenance routine most owners describe as barely worth mentioning. Reliability surveys circulated among beginner rider communities consistently place the Rebel 300 near the top of its class, and real-world owners back that up with reports of 40,000 plus miles on the original clutch and valve train. Fuel economy sits close to 70 miles per gallon, so even riders putting serious miles on it barely notice the cost at the pump. It won't win a spec sheet battle against larger bikes, but for riders who want a machine that simply starts, runs, and keeps running, the Rebel 300 rarely disappoints. Insurance costs stay low too, since its modest power output keeps premiums well below what larger cruisers typically command, which matters most in the first few years when new riders are still building confidence. Dealerships also report the Rebel 300 as one of the least frequent bikes to return for warranty work, a small but telling signal of how little tends to go wrong early on, and one that tends to matter more to riders once the novelty of a first bike wears off. Climbing the list next is the Honda CB500F, a naked bike that proves affordable doesn't have to mean disposable. Its parallel twin engine was tuned specifically for smoothness and longevity rather than outright horsepower, and that decision shows up in owner mileage reports well past 50,000 miles without major internal work. According to long-term reviews from riders who track their own maintenance spending, the CB500F's annual upkeep frequently lands under $150, covering little more than oil, filters, and tires across a full year of regular riding. Its upright riding position and forgiving power delivery also make it a favorite among riders returning to motorcycles after years away, since nothing about it punishes a rusty right wrist. Resale holds up well too, since buyers shopping the used naked bike market know exactly what kind of dependability they're getting from Honda's 500 class lineup. Because so many parts are shared across that same lineup, even a bike bought used and slightly neglected tends to be a quick, affordable fix rather than a drawn-out repair project. Riders who've owned both the CB500F and pricier naked bikes from other brands often admit, once pressed, that the extra money elsewhere bought styling and not much else in terms of everyday dependability, which is exactly the kind of comparison that tends to settle the debate for budget-conscious riders. Higher still is the Honda CRF 300L, the dual sport that treats simplicity as a feature rather than a limitation. Its air-cooled, fuel-injected single-cylinder engine mirrors the same low-complexity philosophy that's made Honda's smaller dual sports legendary among riders who actually use their bikes off-road, not just for photos. Owners who split their riding between pavement and trail report remarkably consistent reliability, with mechanics noting that most unscheduled repairs trace back to crash damage rather than mechanical failure. Fuel efficiency comfortably tops 70 miles per gallon, and because the CRF 300L was engineered to survive drops, mud, and rough terrain, the kind of abuse that would sideline a street bike barely slows it down. It's not fast, and it was never meant to be. It's meant to still be running long after flashier dual sports have needed their first major rebuild. Riders shopping the used market often single it out specifically because a rough-looking CRF 300L is more likely to have been ridden hard than actually neglected mechanically, which makes it a safer used purchase than its cosmetic condition might suggest. Moving further up the list is the Honda VFR 800, a sport touring machine that manages to feel genuinely exciting without demanding the maintenance schedule that usually comes with performance-focused engineering. Its V4 engine, an unusual choice in Honda's lineup, was built with a reputation for smoothness and long service intervals that riders who have owned both sport bikes and tourers consistently point to as a standout trait. Owners frequently report six-figure mileage totals on the original engine internals, a claim echoed across long-running sport touring forums where VFR 800 owners compare notes on high-mileage machines. Fuel economy holds up reasonably well for a bike this capable, and because Honda kept the platform in production for years with only incremental changes, parts remain widely available, even for slightly older model years. It's a bike built for riders who want genuine performance without treating every long ride as a gamble on what might break next. The V4 layout also delivers a distinctive exhaust note and smoother power delivery than more common inline-4 sport bikes, a detail longtime owners frequently cite as the reason they keep choosing the VFR platform generation after generation. Maintenance intervals stretch noticeably longer than on many rival sport tourers as well, which adds up to real savings for riders who put serious annual mileage on their bikes. Right in the middle of the list is the Honda Grom, the bike almost nobody takes seriously until they actually own one. Its tiny single-cylinder engine produces modest power, but that same simplicity is exactly why so little on the bike is capable of going wrong in the first place. Urban commuters who ride Groms daily report years of use with maintenance costs so low that some owners jokingly compare them to bicycle upkeep rather than motorcycle ownership. Fuel costs are close to nothing, with real-world owners frequently reporting well over 100 miles per gallon in city riding. It's not the bike you buy to impress anyone at a stoplight, but for riders who are tired of expensive vehicles constantly needing something fixed, the Grom offers a level of worry-free ownership that's difficult to find anywhere else in Honda's catalog. Parking and storage costs shrink along with the bike itself, which owners in dense cities point to as an underrated financial benefit that rarely makes it into a typical review. Climbing higher still is the Honda CT125 Trail, a modern take on a formula Honda has trusted for decades. Built around the same dependable small displacement engine family that's powered some of Honda's most legendary machines, the CT125 pairs semi-automatic simplicity with genuine off-road capability, all wrapped in a package light enough for nearly any rider to manage confidently. Owners describe a maintenance routine that rarely goes beyond oil changes and tire replacement, even after years of mixed commuting and light trail use. Because the CT125 shares major mechanical DNA with some of Honda's most reliable historical models, parts and service knowledge remain widely available at almost any dealership, which keeps repair costs predictably low, even for owners who aren't especially mechanically inclined. It's proof that Honda's most dependable engineering ideas don't expire. They just keep getting repackaged into new bikes that ride the same principle to success. The retro-inspired styling has also made it a favorite among riders who want the reliability of a modern machine without giving up the character older Honda models are known for. Near the top of the list is the Gold Wing, the touring machine that treats 1,000,000 miles as a realistic target rather than a marketing exaggeration. Owners who've logged that kind of mileage aren't outliers in Gold Wing circles, and they're a recognized community with individual machines documented well past that mark while running largely original drivetrains. Long-term touring rider communities routinely describe their entire maintenance routine as oil, tires, and the occasional brake job spread across hundreds of thousands of miles. Resale value backs that reputation up too, since a well-kept Goldwing tends to hold a noticeably larger share of its original price than most touring bikes in its class. It isn't cheap, and its size intimidates newer riders, but very few owners describe the Goldwing as a bike that costs them more than expected once the miles start piling up. Long-distance touring couples in particular cite the passenger comfort as the deciding factor, since few other motorcycles on the market treat the second seat as anything more than an afterthought. Just outside the very top is the Honda CB650R, proof that Honda can build a genuinely engaging middleweight without sacrificing the dependability the brand built its reputation on. Its inline-4 engine delivers the kind of smooth, high-revving character that naked bike riders specifically shop for, all while maintaining service intervals that stay far more forgiving than many performance-oriented rivals. Real-world owners frequently push past 30,000 miles between anything beyond routine maintenance, and mechanics who service a range of naked bikes often point to the CB50R as one of the easiest models in its class to keep running smoothly. Fuel economy stays respectable for a bike with this much character, and resale values have remained healthier than most competitors, thanks to Honda's reputation following the bike into the used market. It's a rare case of a motorcycle that rewards spirited riding without punishing owners for enjoying it. Riders moving up from a smaller displacement bike often choose the CB650R specifically because it offers a genuine step up in performance without also demanding a steep jump in maintenance knowledge or expense. That combination of accessible performance and low ownership stress has made it a quiet favorite among riders shopping for a second motorcycle rather than a first. And now, the bike responsible for more miles ridden on this planet than any other vehicle in history, motorized or otherwise. This is the Honda Super Cub. Since 1958, Honda has built well over 100 million of them, and that number alone should tell you something about how little goes wrong with the design across nearly 7 decades of continuous refinement. The Super Cub's small 4-stroke engine is famous for surviving decades of neglect. Riders across the globe have documented Super Cubs still running after being left outside, rarely serviced, and ridden hard for 20 or 30 years straight without a major rebuild. Its semi-automatic transmission removes an entire category of components that typically wear out on other bikes, and because Honda has kept the platform in continuous production for over 60 years, parts remain absurdly cheap and available almost everywhere on Earth. It isn't fast, and it will never be anyone's dream garage centerpiece. But if raw, unkillable reliability is the only metric that matters, nothing else on this list, or arguably in the entire history of motorized transportation, comes close to matching it. None of this means every rider should chase whichever bike ranked highest here. Riders who want raw speed, aggressive styling, or cutting-edge performance tech will find several of these machines feel deliberately restrained, and that's a fair trade-off to weigh honestly before buying. These 9 bikes are best suited to riders who value low running costs and long-term peace of mind over bragging rights at a stoplight, commuters, new riders, long-distance tourers, and anyone tired of a vehicle that spends more time in the shop than on the road. If that description fits you, any name on this list is a safer bet than most of what's currently sitting on a dealership floor. Value and reliability tell only part of the story. The rest comes down to what you actually want a motorcycle to feel like every time you swing a leg over it, whether that's effortless commuting or genuine excitement on a weekend back road. 9 bikes, 9 different reasons to trust them, but the same underlying promise runs through everyone. Which of these would actually earn a spot in your garage? Drop your pick in the comments, and if a Honda has kept you running trouble-free for years, tell us how many miles you're at. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this one.